What's up, guys? For this YouTube video, I wanted to give a brief introduction and let you guys know what the plan is and what we're moving towards. Right now, we're starting a separate playlist on our YouTube channel that'll be called like free fitness, free training, free workouts, something I haven't settled on a name yet. But the point is that a lot of people come into the gym every day, every week, every year with no aim. They're kind of just bouncing from machine to machine. They don't want to commit to something, paying something to find out that they didn't really have what it took to follow it, and etc. So a lot of these people will just watch YouTube videos where they copy the guy's workouts, and the problem that people have with that is you'll watch this one guy who says do this every time, then you watch another video for the separate workout because that guy didn't have the video out and this guy says don't do this every time, and then you're sifting through all this do's and don'ts and they're all contradicting because different people think different shit. So the goal with our YouTube is to give you guys a free basic training program to follow and just copy straight off the YouTube. We're doing this because we're working towards a fitness app that'll allow you guys to track your progress, your meals, and to help you, give you direction. And then eventually, if you want even more in-depth personal training with us, you can pay a subscription, buy a program, get one-on-one coaching, and it will become a community where we can all talk and discuss and give our feedback, and we can reach out to you guys if you have any issues. This is something we've been wanting to do for a while, and we're getting our foot in the door right now. And this is going to be the first video of many to help you in that YouTube aspect, and soon to help us with the fitness programming on the app and the rest of our goals. So day one of doing this, today's a shoulder workout, shoulder and abs. I will run you through a basic and my favorite way to do a shoulder workout, and a little bit of ab training in the end, and try to give you guys some explanations and proper form and everything I can to help you guys, give you some sort of direction when you come into the gym each day and don't know how to perform exercises, what exercises to perform, or why the hell you're even doing them. All right, let's get to it. All right, so a lot of people will spend the first 10, 15, 20 minutes or more before they work out stretching. I do not recommend you do that. If your goal is to come in here, lift heavy, build muscle, and grow, you shouldn't be doing your stretching before you lift. You should be doing some warm-up stuff, getting your joints lubricated.
First, unlock your phone.
Oh my God. The reason I'm telling you shouldn't be doing stretching before you lift is because you put your muscles into a weakened and compromising position when you do all that stretching. And then if you try to go lift heavy weight, you're going to be weaker than you would have been, and you might even injure yourself. You save your stretching and stuff like that, especially if you're doing long stretches, after you lift, because your muscles will be all tight, full of blood. It'll help them not be so sore, not be so tight in the night. You stretch after lifts, especially if you're doing muscle building. Now, what you should be doing before your lift to get you warmed up, to get your joints lubricated, to get your heart rate up, is to walk. You want to walk before. A lot of people nowadays, they do a workout and then they go do their cardio right after. You should not be doing your cardio right after, because you're in a muscle breakdown state. Your body is not in the place to switch from breaking down muscle to burning fat on a treadmill. You should be doing, if anything, your cardio earlier in the day before your lifts. But if you want to get a little bit of cardio in, get that fat burning process going and get your heart rate up so that you're prepared for your lifts, 10 minutes on the treadmill, 5 minutes on the treadmill. And then you go and you do something like get bands, which I'm going to show you after we walk on the treadmill, that will basically a few little exercises with some bands that will warm up your shoulders if you're doing upper body, and make sure that everything's feeling good, everything's lubricated. It's kind of like before a leg day, you know, it's great to do a little bit of walking on the treadmill, do some walking lunges with just body weight, get your knees warmed up and stuff. What's not good to do before a leg day is sit there and stretch everything out in positions for long periods at a time. It's good to do a few things that do cause stretching, but not hold it. There's static stretching, which is not what you want to do before a lift, which is holding your body in a stretched position for over 30 seconds or 15 seconds, because then you're going to be weaker. Your muscles then put in not an advantageous place for lifting heavy. So the whole reason I'm breaking that down is because a lot of people nowadays will go and they'll come in, they'll just jump straight into a workout. Like, you should do warm-ups, lightweight. Like, the best thing to warm you up for the lift is lighter weight of the lift leading up to it, not holding their muscle in a stretched position for 15 minutes. You know what I mean? So, and then people will do their workouts and then they'll go do cardio after. You should have done your cardio earlier in the day or before your lift. It's a lot better for you. You put your body in a state of burning fat, you get your heart rate up, you get yourself prepared for the high intensity that you're gonna be doing. Another thing that people tend to do that is a big mistake when it comes to your cardio and walking on a treadmill is they'll put their incline super up, if not all the way up, to where they're walking on a really good incline, which will help them burn fat. But they hold on to the machine the entire time. They hold on here. And the entire time they're on this incline, they're holding themselves to the machine, which completely defeats the purpose. You're no longer, that incline does nothing for you now because you're holding yourself there. If you're gonna put the machine on an incline, you have to walk without support. You know what I mean? So if you're trying to burn that fat, don't hold on to the machine at a full incline. If you're gonna put it at a high incline, you have to take what you're giving yourself. No holding on. The whole point in putting that incline is that it's more difficult. But the moment you hold on to that shit, it's no longer difficult. So, and it's very easy to do. So make sure that you're not defeating the purpose when you get on the treadmill and hit that incline. So we just finished 10 minutes on the treadmill, and now we're gonna do my upper body warm up with the bands. Now, I say that this is why I have no more shoulder injuries. I had a really bad one a long time ago, and now I'm at the point where I can shoulder press 225 pounds, maybe more. And I say it's all because I do this every upper body day. And I'm 100% sure that's the reason. And it strengthens your shoulders over time, and it's great to make sure that nothing's feeling weird, that you're not feeling weak, that things are hurting and pinging on itself. It's a great, anytime I do arms, backs, chest, shoulders, I do this before my lift. And it really gets you set up and ready, get your joints lubricated. It's great for getting yourself ready for that lift. Way better than stretching. You're gonna perform these, you're gonna allow your shoulders to pull forward, and you're gonna let your back round so that you're getting a stretch among your back and traps as well. And you're gonna give yourself 5 of these, just straight on. And then after that, you're gonna angle your arms up and allow those shoulders to pull forward. And you're gonna go ahead and give me 5 of those. After 5 of those, you're gonna slightly angle down and go up. Just give me 5 of those. Just to where you're touching your chest. Now, you're going to go behind, just barely, to where you're getting that stretch, and you're gonna pull towards your back of your neck, go back up. Make sure you're getting a full stretch. After like 5 of those, you'll go a little bit behind the body, just get a deep stretch that way. Now you're gonna do 5 reps of all the way forwards, all the way back, keeping the same distance between your arms. Okay, after that, you're gonna put your foot on the band. You're gonna put your elbow and shoulder aligned with each other and out to the side. And you're going to keep them at the same level the entire time while you perform rotation. I usually do 10 each arm, so I'll do 10 on that arm and then switch. I'm gonna perform it a few more reps on this arm, but turn to the side so you can see from this angle what I'm doing. After you have done 10 on each arm, you'll go back to the first arm, you'll grab it and put it behind the arm this time. And you'll perform another 10, but from behind the arm, keeping the elbow and the shoulder aligned and to the side. After 10 reps from that, you'll switch arms. Same thing, putting it behind, shoulder and elbow aligned, 10 reps. You can allow for more rotation if it feels good and if you're capable. See how I'm not allowing this to happen or a lot of this movement? I lock in, stay there. After you've done 10 on both arms like that, you'll go back to the original arm, put it behind again, but instead of doing this, you're going to allow it to pull you all the way down, and you're going to tilt your head in the opposite direction and keep it there. You'll feel a deep stretch from your trap into your shoulder. While you're feeling that stretch, slowly press up. Slowly go back down and allow yourself to feel that deep stretch. Go ahead and perform that 10 times. I wasn't counting, so that was probably more. Now same thing on the opposite arm. Put it behind, allow for it to pull you down into a deep stretch while tilting the head in the opposite direction. Once you feel that deep stretch, go ahead and slowly press up. Allow it to pull you back down while staying controlled in the movement and feeling that deep stretch. Go ahead and perform all 10 of these. Now we will get into our first exercise of the workout. All right, now the best thing you can do to prepare for a lift is lighter sets of that lift. They're called warm-up sets. Now, for people who don't understand, there's warm-up sets, then there's working sets, and then there's other stuff that you shouldn't really need to worry about right now, like drop sets, supersets, rest pause sets. That's all other shit if you're already experienced and would like to add more intensity to your lifts and stuff outside of that. But all you need to really worry about right now, or most of the time, whether you're an advanced lifter or a beginner, is your warm-up sets and your working sets. Now, the best range for exercising is as many warm-up sets as you're required to prepare for your lift in the working sets. The working sets, you can perform, I'd say it'd be best to perform 2 to 3 working sets of each exercise. Now, if you're newer to lifting, I would say 3 sets is a great place to begin and to stay for a while. Now, 3 working sets, the way you want to structure this, because everyone does it opposite, because a lot of people learn that way, but it is best to do it this way, which I'm about to tell you, and that's you start with a bunch of warm-up sets, slowly increasing the weight and decreasing the reps, never reaching anywhere near failure or fatiguing yourself. You're just preparing your muscles and your joints for the lift. The reason you're doing these warm-up sets in this way is because your very first working set is going to be your heaviest set of that exercise. Now, if you're doing 3 sets, your first set will be the heaviest weight that you can manage for anywhere from 8 to 12 reps. If you're a beginner, I would say shoot for 8 to 10, maybe 12 reps for your first set. And it should be very difficult to achieve those reps. So if I say 8 to 10, you should be failing, maybe even needing help on the 8th, 9th, or 10th rep. Now, because your first set's your heaviest, your second and third set will be slightly lighter weight, but trying to achieve the same number of reps, if not more reps, depending on how easy it becomes. So for this, I'm gonna be doing heavy shoulder presses on a barbell. So first things first, I will do like 10, 15, 20 reps with just the bar to make sure my joints feel good. I'm lubricating the joints, the muscles aren't hurting, nothing feels like it's tight. Then I will slowly begin to increase the weight on the bar while decreasing the number of reps I'm performing so that I'm never fatiguing my muscles or hurting myself before my first set. Because my first set will be the heaviest set, I have to slowly work up to it with these warm-up sets. So I might do 3, 4, 5 warm-up sets where I'm slowly increasing the weight until I get to a point where my last warm-up set is like 2 reps. I just picked it up, did 2 reps. Realized, based off of how easy it was to lift, how much more weight I should add to the bar before I begin that first set. Now don't worry if you start your warm-up sets and you get to a weight to where you realize you did 1 or 2 reps and that it's really heavy and that should be your first set. That's fine. Put it back, rest for a moment, and then perform that first set. What we call that is a feeler set. It means you warmed up till you found the weight you wanted and you did a couple reps, realized that was it. That's called a feeler set. You felt the weight, you realized it was perfect, you rested for a moment and then performed that first set. You want to give it everything you have, and how you know that you're performing in a range that is going to allow for growth is that if the rep slows, it grows. Just remember that. If it slows, if the way that you're performing it slows down, so if I'm doing shoulder press, if on the last few reps, if I start like this, and my last few reps look like this, and that's as fast as I could perform it, I'm gonna grow. I'm in the area of growth. And so you should be reaching those slow reps and failing around the number you're reaching for, like 8 to 10. So first warm-up set. That feels good. Now I'm gonna slowly start adding weight to the bar and continue warming up until I find that weight I'm gonna begin my first set with. I'm gonna do my 4th warm-up. I don't know.
You're good on spot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Feels a little heavy today. I don't know. For anybody watching this who may not be able to or not want to perform barbell shoulder press, you can always perform the same exercise and follow the same steps that we are, but with dumbbells or a machine or cable. See, they have some seated cable shoulder presses. They have some seated machine presses where you'll sit in it. Follow the same steps and rules that we are. Just do it with different equipment in a different setup. Now, if you are able to perform it with a barbell, go ahead and just follow along. Now, if you're doing it with a machine or with cable, seated cable, whatever it is, it's most likely a lot more safer and a lot more isolating. So you can go ahead and completely reach failure without needing a spot or without preserving yourself just a little bit to save yourself towards the end. Like on here, if he wasn't here, I wouldn't dare go for that rep I might not get. Now with a seated shoulder press machine, you can take it to complete failure while isolating the shoulder and not putting yourself in a compromising position. And same thing with the cables. So if that is the case, make sure you are completely reaching failure. See here, that 7th rep would have been me completely reaching failure because I doubt I would have been able to get it past halfway. But since it's here, I'm not gonna go ahead and take that chance. Now, if we were doing it on a seated machine, I would have gone to that level of failure and even then some. I would have done a few partial reps at the bottom. So if you are doing it on something that's a lot more isolating, now if you're doing it with like dumbbell, same thing here. Go ahead and you can even do those extra few fail reps at the end where you're just barely coming up and then just drop the dumbbells. But see, as with this as a barbell, it'd be a lot riskier for me to perform that, and because it's so high up, it'd be a lot harder for him to help me get it all the way back up. Since I'm doing 200 plus pounds, I'm putting my elbow wraps and my shoulder and my wrist wraps on so that I'm performing safety. You know, once you get heavy enough, it's good to be safe rather than sorry.
And to have a spot.
I didn't even think about warming up. I just started doing the set. I got distracted. So I'll call that a warm-up. I'm gonna do this again, but I'm gonna shoot for 6 reps. I just did 4 because I forgot that it was a warm-up, but we'll call that my feeler set. I got 4 reps. Wasn't too hard, honestly. I could have definitely got 6, if not struggled on that last one, but he would have helped me get it. So I'm gonna rest for a moment and come back to that, and this will be my because that floor wasn't that difficult for me. So it can be a warm-up set. I wasn't struggling too hard. So I will rest, and then I'll jump into this for my first real working set and take it to failure. That's the difference between the warm-ups and the working sets. In the warm-ups, you're avoiding taking yourself to failure or even near it because you don't want to fatigue yourself leading into the working sets. Working sets, you want to give it everything you've got. You want to reach failure, especially if you have somebody spotting you and it's safe to do so. That's why machines are a bodybuilder's best friend, because they're very safe and they're very isolating when it comes to the muscle you're working. So it's easy for you to take the intended muscle to failure.
One more. Go, 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 go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Push, 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 push. Go, 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 go. Good dude.
Now you see how slow those last 2 reps were? That's how you know you're in the room for growth. You're in that area where you're gonna cause the most growth, and you know you're performing the exercises correctly. This will be my second working set. For my third, I'm gonna drop the weight to probably just a plate and a 25 and try to get, again, as many reps as possible. I'm doing that for every set that I do. I'm shooting for as many reps as possible, but I'm keeping it within 8 to 10 reps. Maybe on that last one I'll get more than 10, but I'm shooting to fail within that 8 to 10.
Keep going, brother, you got it. That's 6.
Yeah, that's all I had. All right, this is gonna be my third and final set on here. I am taking it to complete failure. I'm gonna get as many reps as I can, and then on the last 1 or 2, Jen might have to assist me up.
Go, 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 go. I wanted you to work for that.
Yeah, thanks. All right, that's a wrap for incline shoulder press. We will be moving on to the next exercise now. All right, for this second exercise, we will be performing rear delt flies, and I have an incline bench set up so that we can lay against it and perform the exercise while isolating the muscle as much as possible. Now, with the rear delt, a lot of people will have trouble connecting with it, really feeling it work. And the key here is all about biomechanics and how you perform the exercise. And what I mean by biomechanics is that everyone's built differently and we prefer different things when it comes to motion under pressure. So some people might prefer to have their arm coming straight out like they're actually flying. Some people will prefer to let that arm come back a little bit, almost like instead of doing this, they're doing this, where it's almost like they're pulling back with their lats a little bit to activate that rear delt. Now the key here is that you're allowing for the elbow and wrist to come closer to the shoulder without the shoulder going backwards. So if you were to be working your back in this situation, you would want to go like this and allow for that shoulder to roll forward and to pull back. Now, since we're only working the rear delt, we don't want to activate those other muscles. We're going to keep the shoulder in position while allowing, so really we're just trying to reach rotation of the shoulder and not retraction of the shoulder. So if we were retracting it, it would roll back and our trap would activate. Instead, we're just rotating it, and so that rear delt's activating to bring that arm back behind the body. Now, some of you might feel better going like this, straight out. Some of you might feel better coming back and out. Now the key here is to perform it in the way that you're feeling the most isolation in that particular muscle, and while focusing on not allowing your back to take over the movement. So here, the way I feel it the most is by making sure that my shoulder is staying in position, but just rotating and not retracting. I'll show you how it looks while performing the exercise with weight during my warm-up sets. I'm allowing for the shoulder to rotate, not retract. This is retraction. I'm getting way too much back in that. If you start to feel it in your traps, in your lats, you're performing the exercise incorrectly. It should be just that rear deltoid. Now some of you might prefer to come straight out, which works just the same. For me, I feel it more in this angle, slightly coming backwards. Now me and Jed are going to continue to warm up and then perform our first working set. So come out more, like turn your arms the opposite way. Yep, and now slightly angled though, like a V. Yeah, and now come further out. Don't retract your shoulders.
Okay.
Yes, you feel that there? Bring your arms slightly out more to the side. Still come back with them though. You feel that there? See how you're not getting it here anymore? Is it starting to burn there?
Yeah. My right's a little bit stronger than my left, so my left's the one burning right now, but hold on, I'm losing it now.
Is that gonna be a good first set, or what first set weight, or are you gonna go?
I'm gonna go to like 25, I think.
Okay. Go ahead and continue to play with that with light weight in your warm-up sets until you find the right setup to where you're feeling it the most in that rear delt. So if you look here for him, you could see way more activation when he was doing this.
Yeah, right here.
Than when he was doing this.
I actually felt like I wasn't strong enough to come in this angle. Like my muscle memory wasn't focused there, but out here it's sort of like really dependent on this piece when your elbows are out like that. So for me it's really helpful.
Yeah, and see, for me, I have good enough connection with it that I can activate it with no weight, just whenever. So I can perform it in any angle. The only difference is that I can really isolate it in this one, whereas when I start to come out here, I start to need
like traps
more muscles to keep it going. So sometimes I'll even start like this. The moment I start to fatigue and fail, I'll switch angles. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and perform my first working set. This is my second working set. Same weight as the first one. For my third, I will drop the weight a little bit. Alright, this is my third working set. I'm dropping the weight by 5 pounds, and I'm gonna go for as many as possible. Now, if you noticed, I was also trying not to just let the weight drop. I wasn't like going and then just going and then I was controlling it on the way down, making sure that I'm not just losing the other half of the exercise, which is the negative portion where you're lowering the weight. All right, that is a wrap on this exercise. We'll be moving on to the next one now. All right, for the third exercise, we're doing machine cable lateral raises. If you cannot set this up at your gym or do this specific setup because the cable machines aren't the same, or you can't find cuffs or whatever, or maybe you just don't like this setup, an alternative would be dumbbell. You can do dumbbell seated or standing. Also, some gyms have a machine lateral raise where they'll have pads here and you just put your arms in and do it, or handles at the bottom that you'll grab and do it, those are all the exact same thing and just as good. The only reason I like to do this one every now and then is I'll switch it up from this to dumbbell, because for example, this one has constant resistance because it's a cable machine. So it doesn't matter at what angle I'm at, I'm constantly fighting the resistance of the machine. That means that the entire range of motion is loaded with weight. And I also like to do it at this angle because I'm putting my weight on a bench, and pretty much I'm doing everything in my power to isolate the shoulder. Now, if I was doing dumbbells and standing, when the arms are to my side, there's no more weight, there's no more resistance on my shoulders, and I can use body movements as momentum to help me get it up. So I'm not isolating it completely. I can also allow my traps to help me in the movement. Whereas here, as long as I'm focusing, I can make sure that it's 100% the middle delt or lateral delt. So like I've said before, the goal is to isolate. Setting it up this exact way is the perfect way to isolate, in my opinion, the lateral head of the shoulder, and while loading the entire range of motion. Now I'm gonna do some warm-up sets, but I am gonna show you really quick with this lightweight for a warm-up, how it should be performed, what it should look like. I like to use the cuffs so that I'm not gripping a handle and putting load on my elbow joint. This way, see, if I was holding it this way, then it puts load on my wrist, which in turn puts load on my elbow. But if I can go like this, now it's just part of my forearm, which puts it in more like it's a part of my body and less something I'm holding on to outside of it, which helps me isolate it into the shoulder. If you cannot find cuffs or just don't have them, a handle's fine as well. See, for this specific one too, especially if you're using cables, doesn't matter what you're using, but you should do this for all of them, is really explode up for that first movement, but then slowly let it back down. And then pause right before the weight can rest so that the tension maintains into the muscle that you're targeting. So don't let the tension break. Keep the tension in your shoulder, explode out, and go very slowly back down. Explode up. If you can, pause for 1 second. Go slow down, pause, explode, pause, slow, pause, just before resting. Even right here, I have the tension on my shoulder. And see, I'm not going like this. I'm going up and out a little bit, because the natural path of your shoulder isn't straight out and it's not in front of you, it's right in the middle. And so when I'm laying here, to go straight back, yeah, it would target it, but it's in a weird position and harder for me to do. Whereas if I'm going up, it's the natural path that the shoulder wants to take while using that muscle. So I'm going up and back, because if I was just standing here and I try to raise my arm using it, it would be this, not this. And you'll get less trap involved when you're doing this than if you were doing this. So now we will continue to do our warm-up sets. Only need like 2 warm-up sets just to find the weight that I'm intending. My shoulders are already warmed up. I'm not worried about hurting anything or seeing if everything's feeling good. I'm plenty warmed up. I'm really just using these warm-up sets to find the weight that I need to use for my first set, which is the heaviest. First working set. Well, it was heavier than I thought it was. Still a good set though. This is my second working set. Yeah, this will be my third and final set. Slightly lighter weight than both the first 2. And just like always, to complete failure.
All right, so now that Rocket and I are both done doing our working sets here, we are gonna go ahead and move on to the next one and explain that exercise.
All right, so we are going to be performing weighted sit-ups or more weighted crunches at a decline. I try to crunch where I'm trying to bring the center of my chest closer to my belly button instead of doing a full sit-up. But as I start to fail, I'll just start doing sit-ups really. This is more of a crunch where I'm just crunching, and then this would be a full sit-up where I'm just sitting up and not actually crunching my abs together.
Right, and you have told me in the past that bringing your sternum to your belly button is considered a crunch.
Yeah, this is literally a crunch. Now I'm just adding more to it by being at this angle and coming up higher. This would be like full.
It's a full core workout.
This is just like my lower back and other things helping me do that. So really, you should just go all the way down and get that release or stretch right there. And then come up just enough to actually feel your stomach contracting.
I think a good example would be, I don't know what that instrument is.
An accordion.
But like where they're playing it, it goes woo. This is like what you're doing when you stretch, and then when you come together, you're bringing these two as tight as you can together, and then stretch and releasing it all over again.
Yeah, well, and that's why it's easy, like better to make sure you're doing specific breathing while doing the exercise, because like that instrument, it's sucking air in to get the stretch and releasing air to contract it. And it's the same thing that your abdominal muscles are responsible for, is getting a full breath in and releasing air out. So when you've heard the phrase breathe with your chest and not your stomach, well, you can't. You have to engage your abdominal muscles to get a breath of air. And so when you're going down, you want to breathe in to get a nice stretch in the abdomen, and then breathe out as you're coming up to contract. Because if you hold your breath and try to get a full contraction, you will feel it, but it will not be as full as it could be if I were. I can't fully contract my abdomen because the air is restricting its range of motion. But yeah, so as you can see, you will be able to see a difference between the isolating crunch and the sit-up. So if you watch me perform the sit-up first. Now watch me do the crunch sit-up. You see, before my back's just straight, I'm just coming up and down with my back. It's staying like this though, the entire. Now, when you watch me do the crunch sit-up, I go like this. Oh! I'm gonna jump into my first set with 15-pound plate in my hands. Don't let its size fool you, it's just 15 pounds. You can even go like this. Oh, that makes it so much worse. Holy shit. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Oh.
You're not done?
No.
Okay, you're just resting. All right, just making sure.
No.
I had to make sure you're good.
Oh, dude, that's fucked up. Oh, I should have just started with it behind my head. See, I don't do these a lot. I usually just do body weight because I'm doing it last. But since I'm starting with it, I'd add weight. So I didn't know where I should put it. And putting it behind my head, holy shit. That made it very difficult, especially after doing a few reps already. Oh, nice. Okay. Your turn.
Mommy. You want the 10 on this one?
No. I'm doing body weight too. Just because I want to get more than a few reps. That was difficult.
For real.
All right, that's a wrap on this ab exercise. We will meet you at the next exercise. All right, we will be doing leg raises with those so that we don't have to hold on to it with our hands the whole time. The goal here is to get a deep stretch, more focusing on getting a good stretch in the abdomen while doing these. I'm gonna try to do straight leg the entire time until I start to begin to fail. Then I will bend my knee for the last bit just to get a few extra. We will do 2 sets of this and then we are done. This is a wrap on our shoulder and ab workout. That's pretty much all I had in me for that set. All right, that's a wrap on today's shoulder and ab workout. I hope you guys enjoyed the instruction I gave, and if you have any workouts you want to see, go ahead and comment below and I'll get them posted as soon as I can. Planning on doing a lot of these to help you guys, give you guys some sort of direction on those who don't know what to really do when they get in the gym. These exercises are tailored for building muscle specifically. I'm not trying to get you to be a cross-track runner or power lifter. I'm trying to help you build muscle. So if that's your goal, I'd hope you would subscribe and follow along, comment anything you'd like to see. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.
Out, in, out, out. I can't get up it. I tried like 3 different times. Fuck it, I'm gonna try again. One more time. Do it for the vine. Just gonna have to get it right in the face. So what you do is you walk. What a help. What a